Hi there. Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Happy meditation day. Thank you for being here. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being here with me, even through the holidays. I appreciate everybody that comes here each week over and over and over. So we have an intention just like every week. Each week I release an intention on Sunday on the Meditative Astrologer Facebook page first. This week our intention is my visions and ambitions are supported. My visions and ambitions are supported. So every Sunday I release an intention first on Meditative Astrologer Facebook page, and then I disperse it out on other social media. But the Facebook page and the group that correlates with that week's meditation event, that's where you can find the intention first. And I post it on Sunday, so that way you have a couple days to think it through and work with it, journal with it, whatever it is that you may want to do on your own before we meet here together on Tuesdays to work through it, discuss it, meditate, contemplate, and think about it. As always, our intention is supported by the astrological energy that we have surrounding us, because I look directly at the transits and the energy and the placements in the sky for that week and kind of surrounding the time that we're here together for this Tuesday. So the intention, I don't feel comes from me. I feel that the intention comes from guidance that's there for all of us. Okay, so call it the universe, call it God, call it spirit, call it your higher self, call it the planets in the sky, whatever you want to call it. I know that our intentions, when we set them, when we put what we put energy towards, is always supported. Where we put our energy, that is where the energy goes and flows. But when we follow along and we are mindfully aware of the energies that are surrounding us, that the universe and the planets, the gods around us are providing and kind of pushing us towards, maybe not pushing us towards, but guiding us towards. It's just kind of a sign like, maybe go this direction. I feel that it's much more supported, and it falls in line with a collective energy that is around us as well. And just having the mindfulness and being able to pay attention to what's going around and just kind of knowing what could be around can be enough to just put the sorry, I lost my train of thought. I realized that my headphones are unplugged, so hopefully you can hear me. I think it's just that I can't hear myself. Anyways, so when we follow the signs, the guidance of where the universe is kind of telling us to go, where the planets are telling us to go, we can things flow more easily, okay? I feel that when we're aware of the easy and the difficult things around, that it's easier to handle them just because we have an awareness of it. And it just kind of brings it to your consciousness and just kind of brings it to your awareness. So I think it's really helpful to kind of follow these energies that are around and set our intentions around it. So the intentions start fairly general, and then you can personalize it to your own life, to your own chart, to your own path, to your own soul, right? So this week, my visions and ambitions are supported. So we have, we mentioned this last week during our winter solstice meditation. We have this theme of closing of cycles right now. We have kind of like this tying up of loose ends, cycles kind of being in like kind of the last leg, the last little finish. So we have Mercury coming into retrograde, and it's the retrograde period that is at the end of its synodic cycle, okay? So later on this week, Mercury will enter its retrograde period, and that's from its evening star phase. So kind of in a nutshell, this is it, Mercury's mature phase, okay? So it's kind of its adult, already been through the things, been through all the stuff phase. So Mercury is now making its way back towards the sun to end its current synodic cycle. So we have the ending of Mercury cycle, which is significant even though it happens several times a year. Last week we talked about the Jupiter square that was rounding out the last quarter of the Jupiter cycle, synodic cycle. So we have that cycle wrapping up. We have Jupiter and still in the very beginnings of Aries as Capricorn season begins. So this is cardinal signs. This is energy. This is motivating energy within cardinal signs that are ambition, that are motivated. Okay, so we have these cycles coming up. We have the ending of the cycle of dark gaining. We are now coming into where we had the winter solstice. Now we're coming into the light gaining portion of the year. So now we're coming into the portion of the year where we're not talking about death. We're talking about rebirth now. Okay. So we have this theme of closing up cycles, to closing up loose ends, tidying up, and getting ready for the next phase, getting ready for the next cycle. And all of this kind of gives us the motivation to move forward. It's kind of that like lightness of the satisfaction of the work that you've had done once you've already been through a big portion of a project, right? You kind of like, you've put in all this work and now you get like that like jittery excitement, like you just can't wait to get it done. Sometimes you work a little bit better that way, right? Because you're just kind of like ready for it and you're excited and you're into it. Sometimes it's because you can see the light at the end of the tunnel as you move forward. And I kind of feel like that's kind of where we're at right now. So these excitement jitters, you feel them right there at like the end or the beginning or whichever, because that's how cycles work, right? Once one door closes, another door opens. So astrology shows us that with its cycles. Astrology is made up of cycles that ebb and flow through positive and negative times, through periods of exaltation and detriment, of joy and a fall, and what goes down always comes back up, and what comes up always falls back down, right? So we have these cycles of life, and we're kind of at this point where we're at the end of cycles and we're at the beginning of cycles. And we have sextiles of Mercury and Venus to Neptune. Neptune is the planet that connects us to our otherworldly. It's our connection to our higher consciousness, to the collective consciousness, to the spirit realm, that whatever it is that you believe that we go back to or come from or whatever else there is, okay? That's our connection. Neptune is our connection to that. And then you have Mercury and Venus, which are the two most interpersonal planets, which are Mercury is our mind, it's our perception, it's our inner thoughts. And Venus, which is our desires, our love, our need for balance, our need for harmony. And it's coming in with this dreamy, visionary, feminine planet. So where can you bring your mind and where can you connect your desires? Where can you connect your mind and where can you connect your desires to your highest path, to sorry, give me just a minute there, I lost my train of thought for a second. So where can you bring forward this creative support that we have within your mind and with your desires? Where can you be a little bit creative with coming up with your next part of your path? Can you come up with something that you may not have come up with before? Something a little bit nifty, a little bit different. Something a little bit off the beaten path maybe. Our creative visions are supported through Neptune, through these aspects to the personal planets. We are supported in our ambitions through the Capricorn energy and through the Jupiter entering Aries energy. So we have this cardinal initiator, forward focused energy that we have. Venus is going to be coming into a conjunction with Pluto in the sign of Capricorn. So this supports transformation, okay? Pluto going through Capricorn has been taking away all of the things that no longer work for us and getting ready to build new, okay? And I feel that this comes from Capricorn being a sign that knows where we've come from, which is the dark, and knows what's forward, which is the light, and it wants to go forward. So it knows what needs to be done. So it has the drive to do whatever needs to be done. And Pluto breaks things down to make room for new transformation, right? It blows things up to make something totally different, something totally new. So where can you bring transformation to keep you away from the dark and move you towards the light, to keep going forward towards the light and not look back towards the dark that's behind you anymore? Where does this apply when it comes to your desires and your need for harmony and balance? Where do you need to take action? Where do you need to set structures? Where do you need to harmonize, and where do you need to deharmonize? These are all things that we're thinking about in preparation for our new year coming up for 2023. So my dreams and ambitions are supported. My dreams and ambitions are supported. With all of this cardinal energy that we have with Capricorn and Jupiter in Aries right now, it's our forward mind and our looking forward and not looking back, almost to a point of tunnel vision is there, right? I feel that in different degrees, lots of us, many of us, maybe all of us, are feeling that there's something we're moving away from that we are not going to be going back to. And this is going to be a long-term change. Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So where do you need to make changes, and what are you leaving behind in the dark in 2022 that you are not going to take forward with you into 2023 where the light is? Because that's where we're going, okay? I mentioned this on a couple of my videos this week, that it might be good to set your intentions before the end of this week for 2023, especially if you're one of those people that Mercury retrograde kind of messes with you a little bit. I believe it's Thursday that Mercury will be going retrograde. So this is a time to go inward and to reflect. Like I said, this is Mercury's last retrograde period of its cycle. So this is the time where Mercury goes inward and reviews what has worked through the cycle, what has not. What are we able to leave behind in the past, in the dark, from this cycle that we've already worked through, and we've made it, we've come full cycle with that, and what is still hanging on, what has not been resolved, and what needs to come forward with us to bring it into the light. So that's where we're at with Mercury retrograde. So my visions and ambitions are supported. Ambitions through Capricorn, visions through Pisces and Neptune. Especially today, we have a Pisces moon, so those visions are supported, okay? Today is a great day to dream big and write them down and make them come true. So, with that being said, here is our New Year meditation. Since this is a meditation bringing in energy for our next calendar year, I amped up our intentional candle a little bit here. So instead of our normal candle, we have a candle that is big enough to hold all of the energy and all of the positivity that we are bringing into 2023. Perfect size. So, as we light our intentional candle, we use white, purity, universal healing, cleansing, clarity, angelic protection, cleansing. We are cleansing. We are deciding what we are going to leave behind and what we are shedding and what we are bringing forward. One of these days I'll remember to turn that off. So, we have our intentional candle here, white. I also have a bunch of selenite. Selenite is one of my favorite crystals for cleansing and ridding negative energy. So I have a couple selenite hearts. I have a little diamond shape grid here in the middle with some long pieces. So I have this little diamond shape in front of me, so it's kind of like having one point facing towards me and the other is facing towards the camera and the computer screen that I have in front of me. So this is kind of like my connection between me and you, you and everybody else. So this is our connection between us here, okay? I have a couple little tiger's eye in the middle of that there because for me, tiger's eye is one of the most grounding and stabilizing stones that there is. I think it's got something to do with being a Taurus sun. And these two specific stones here are the very, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see them. Probably not. These are the very first two crystals that I ever got, and I still have them. So we have those in the middle, and then we have the slab. So this is, I use this for cleansing and clearing energy out of objects. So we have it right here. I'm going to sit it, I'm going to set it right behind me, okay? So we have all of this selenite in our meditation for cleansing energy and for clearing out negativity. So we can bring that thought into it. And we're going to bring that into 2023, okay? So that's kind of the energy we're sitting into. That's kind of the vibe we're getting into here a little bit. We're coming into our energy for 2023. We know that our visions and our ambitions are supported. So we're going to find our nice comfortable seat. We're going to make sure we're relaxed. And we're going to drop into our space. So we start by recognizing our breath. We give ourselves time to be in the space that we are in, to be in the feelings that we are in, to be in the level of energy and the level of excitement that we are in this very moment. Before we make any changes, it's important to recognize where we're at and the validity of everything that you've been through today and before. All of our feelings are valid because they are personal to us. And then I want you to take a nice big deep breath in, feeling that air entering your lungs. Feel it coming down your throat, cooling your inner body, bringing in nice, positive, energetic air. And once you take that breath in, I want you to hold that breath in for just a moment, for just a second. And I want you to give gratitude for your breath. I want you to tell yourself thank you for this breath, for this life force, for this life-giving energy that sustains us on so many levels. And then as you exhale, I want you to feel that air leaving your body, and with it you feel stress and tension and negativity and weight and anger and sadness and loneliness and jitters and any other feeling that you may feel that no longer serves you leaving your body. And as you continue breathing in and exhaling out, you feel your navel moving away from your spine and back towards your spine into a neutral position. And you notice the cycle. You notice the ebb and the flow of your breath. You notice the rising and falling of your chest. Everything is a cycle of positive and negative, up and down. What cycles are you closing out? What are you leaving behind? What are you leaving in the dark? What are you bringing forward? What are you creating in the light? What are you bringing forward into 2023? Our ambitions are supported. Imagine that sea goat representation of Capricorn. Half in the material world, half in the spirit world. Between losing light and gaining light. Cycles. When one cycle ends, another one begins. It flows like infinity. Just as the moon has its cycles revolving around the earth every month, consistent, predictable, we follow these cycles, these observable cycles, these signs with these omens in the sky. with our guidance. And we move forward. And as we move forward into a new cycle, we change. As we move through our cycles, we change. Just as the moon changes as it moves through her own cycle. Visions, our dreams, our futuristic thoughts, our positive, intuitive, feminine dreams are supported. Venus, the planet of love and desire, the planet that beautifies and harmonizes, is meeting with Neptune. So dream big, dream large, and document the dreams that you're going to make a reality. If you stick to those, you will stay on the positive side of Neptune. Moving forward, moving into a new cycle. Just as with our breath, keep cycling up and down, our life will continue to cycle. And just as we can control our breath, we can control the route of our cycles. Here, we acknowledge the energy that is around us, and then we utilize it, and we follow it, and we surrender to it, only allowing it to reach our highest good for our soul, even if we can't understand it at that very moment. I want you to see yourself literally walking into the new year. Step right through that calendar, right from December, right into January, and bring with you from 2022 what serves you well. And only bring what has brought you joy and what has brought you happiness. And as you walk into your new year, everything is brightly lit and illuminated. You can see clearly. You have done the work of releasing what doesn't serve you through this dark portion of the year, and you are now ready to move forward, and you are now ready to decide what seeds you're going to plant. This is a preparation period of the year. This is where we would decide what seeds are going to be sown in the spring. People decide what adventures they're going to go on in the summer. What are you going to initiate? In 2023, you're bringing forward your ambitions, your visions, and your desires. In 2023, you're only bringing forward what meets your highest good and what serves you and those around you best. Because when you are served well, those around you are served well. As we step into our new year, we have Mercury, the trickster, the mind, the illusion setter, the shapeshifter. The neutered gender that shifts between day and night, masculine and feminine, positive and negative, will be retreating into its introspective phase. So our mind is planning, and our mind is looking forward, and our mind is letting go of what doesn't serve us while it looks forward, while bringing forward what does work. This is not an energy to fear, but an energy to embrace. A cycle within a cycle. We choose how we act and react to the energies around us. We choose to be mindful and conscious or not. So as we go into this new year, there is structure, there is creativity, there is introspection, there is forward movement, there is motivation and motion pushing us forward. Where is there stagnant energy? Where do you need to create movement? Where do you need to create space? That stagnant energy does no good for anyone. collectively, personally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, the world and the human race has been through hell. There is energy and forces at work that is changing, making changes. And we are emerging from that hell that we have all been through. So go forward with confidence. Go forward mindfully. Go forward strong and with a clear mind. May 2023 be the best year yet. And before we close, I invite you to bring your hands to your chest. You can bring them over your chest, or if it feels so good to do so, you can bring them in a prayer position. Palms together, fingertips pressing together. Thumbs pressing into your chest, connecting it to your energy source, to your energy system. I thank you for making this time and making this space for yourself. Because in working on ourselves and helping and improving ourselves, in understanding ourselves and being mindful about ourselves, we help the collective consciousness move towards a more positive, more fulfilling, more graceful period. So thank you for showing up for yourself, for myself, and for the world. I want you to take one more deep breath in before we close. The biggest breath you've taken in all day, and I want you to feel all of that nice cool air entering your lungs. I want you to feel your chest and your abdomen expand. I want you to feel your navel move away from your spine. I want you to feel all of that heavy air within your body, oxygenating your blood, moving from cell to cell, bringing in positive life-giving force, bringing in everything you're going to bring into the next year, bringing in love, positivity, support, motivation, desire, creativity. Motivation, cycles. It's all about cycles. And as you exhale, I want you to release everything that you're leaving behind. I want you to hear your breath on the exhale. I want you to feel the air leave your body and leave your lungs. And as you do so, you feel the weight lifted off of your shoulders. You feel that you can move your head and your neck like you have never been able to before. All you have within you is positivity and drive and motivation and clarity. So thank you. again, for showing up for all of us. I appreciate everybody that comes here. I really, really appreciate you. I see we have some spam comments on YouTube. I'll try to figure out how to get rid of that or make that not happen or whatever that is. I don't know. So, we're going into 2023. We're going to set our plans if we haven't already. Mercury retrograde starts Thursday, so I would do all of the visionary things now. Lots of people are super freaked out about Mercury retrograde. It can be a big bummer. It can be a time that kind of makes us feel wonky. Like I said, Mercury is the trickster. It's the shapeshifter. So things can just be not quite right and just don't line up right, add up the kind of quirky, just enough to make glitches happen, right? I see that more with the first retrograde phase, the first retrograde period in Mercury's phase, when Mercury is a morning star. It's young, it's ambitious, it's restless. This is more of a internalized, introspective Mercury retrograde. So it can be more of an internal rather than an external retrograde, okay? So it can be more of an internal wonkiness, an internal not quite matching up. So let's be kind with ourselves and let's not let our mind get to ourselves, okay? This is a time to think about the last cycle. The last Mercury cycle started, I believe, September 22nd. So kind of look back through the end of September, October, November, December, and see what's played out. And see what has worked and what hasn't worked. What are you leaving behind and what are you taking forward? If it hasn't totally resolved itself, even if you don't want to take it forward, you still might have to because you're not done with it. And if you don't take it forward and leave it, it will come back eventually. So if that pertains to you, then I think you know what that refers to. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I will see you next week as we enter into our new year. Have a great new year. Have a great week. Make your plans and remember that you are supported not only in structure, but you are also supported in a mutable, changeable, creative, spiritual, otherworldly source, okay? We have two very different energies, two feminine energies, but two very different feminine energies that are at play here. And that's bringing us into the new year. So bring that forward. My visions and ambitions are supported, and so are yours, okay? My visions and ambitions are supported. Can we say it one time and then we'll go? Say it together. My visions and ambitions are supported. Thank you. Have a great week.